Swift Wind's mahjong parlor, filled with the stink of cigarette smoke, the insistent click-clack of mahjong tiles, and the grim faces of hardened gamblers. A great place for us to be. Come on in, we have a lot to talk about. You can feel every eye in the room as you cross the mahjong parlor to the middle-aged woman sitting patiently at its head. The click-clack of ivory-colored tiles stops. Hands stray beneath tables into jacket pockets behind backs. The woman has the face of a prison guard and the demeanor of an inmate. Her salt and pepper hair is pulled back into an iron-hard bun, and beneath it 2 shiny black eyes offer nothing. Buttons sewn on a doll. A nearly empty bottle of something foul rests on her mahjong table, nestled between a pair of dirty shot glasses. Tiny puddles of brown linger at their bottoms. Gobbet and Isabel stand on the other side of the table, heads lowered, shoulders slumped, hands clasped. They risk a frightened glance at you as you approach. Kindly Cheng's voice is nasal and rusty mean. My little pair of fuck-ups here told me all about what happened on the docks. She dips a pinky into a shot glass, brings it to her mouth, removes it with a sharp smack. How 2 of my best runners had their heads put out. How you need protection and how you need to get your identities right before you get your heads put out too. Potentially leading the heat to my front door, placing me and everyone in my employ in danger. She fingers the rim of her glass. So wise. So very, very wise. The young shaman's eyes never leave the floor. We're sorry, Auntie. We thought... Her black eyes flash. You mustn't speak until you are spoken to, Gobbet dear. The smile turns mean. And since you are one short hair away from being dumped in the river changed to Isabel's corpse, I suggest that you let your new friends here do the talking for a while. Does that make sense to you, dear? Her treacle voice is back, sweet, nasal, and grinding. Dark circles ring Gobbet's armpits. Yes, Auntie. Cheng inclines her head gently. Very good. You learn so quickly. Gobbet kept a very cool head in a tense situation. She's the one who led us out of the police ambush. Gobbet's eyes dart from you to the triad boss and back again. A thin trickle of perspiration slides from beneath the ropes of her hair. Kindly Cheng slowly turns, directs her attention to you. Her voice remains cloyingly sweet. I count little Gobbet here among my most resourceful runners, but I admit, it's good to have outside validation from time to time. The look of gratitude from the young rat shaman is deeply sincere and exceedingly brief. Kindly's chin lowers and her nostrils flare. And now that you've shared that valuable little tidbit, perhaps you'd be so kind as to keep your fucking mouth shut until you are spoken to. Her voice sweetens again. Can you do that for me? Nod yes. She smiles with her mouth. Her eyes remain cold. I do appreciate it, dear. She pours another drink. Her cheeks are rosy, already flushed. Now, my darlings, I understand from little rat shit here that you came from Seattle to meet with my client, Mr. Black. Wu's jaw tightens at the word client. But before you could find him, the HKPF started splattering gray matter everywhere and everything went to shit. And now you need your sins burned so that you can disappear before you end up dead too. Is that right? Yes, ma'am. Very good. Why don't we start with you telling me who you are? Call me Caddis. Oh, you've already chosen a street name. How prescient of you. Cheng looks at you approvingly. Karis, it's a good name. Has real character. She flutters her eyelashes at you. Now what's your real name? I mean, do you want me to erase your identities, don't you? You do want me to erase your identities, don't you, dear? I need to know who you are first. Helena. I do what needs doing. She rests her chin on her hand. I know the type. And how did you become someone who does what needs to be doing, Helena? Let's just say I'm self-taught and leave it at that. Wu lets out a grunt. Better leave it at that. Kindly Cheng whips her head towards Wu, a nasty retort already on her lips. But then she stops, sticks out her lower lip as she sizes him up. She turns to her lieutenant standing behind her, nodding her approval. Looks like the gun show is in town. What's your name, gun show? Wu's focus remains straight ahead. Duncan Wu. I'm a cop. Lone Star. I hear there were some fresh corpses found on the docks tonight. Smugglers, I believe. Didn't sound like the Hong Kong police when I heard about it. You're doing, Duncan Wu? Wu's eyes remain fixed on a spot on the wall behind her. He smolders. I identified myself as the Lone Star, but they wouldn't stand down. They had weapons. It was self-defense. She puckers her lips at him, her voice sings song. I don't care, sweetie. They weren't my people. But now I know you're a life-taker, Mr. Gunshow. You and your friend here. She begins arranging mahjong tiles on the table in front of her. But now I'm curious. Why were you meeting Raymond Black on the docks tonight? Raymond Black is our foster father. That makes her pause. Cheng lifts her bottle of swill and eyes the label, connecting the dots in her own head. Interesting. A look of disgust passes over her face. Sorry, kid, but he was looking like shit when I saw him. Eyes half open, dark circles around him, dragging his feet, the whole bit. She tests in displeasure. Your foster daddy was in a bad place. Sounds like he wasn't sleeping. Could be. From what he said, it sounded like he was having nightmares. He would stop in the middle of a sentence and mutter something to himself. One time it was about the walls breathing or something. Another time it was about teeth. Thousands of teeth. I remember him drifting off near the end of our meeting. It looked like he was off somewhere else in his head. He said, I left prosperity in there. Then Nightjar put his hand on Mr. Black's shoulder, asked him why he wanted to go into the walled city so badly. That seemed to bring him back. When your old man opened his eyes, they were full of tears. Then he muttered something else I couldn't make out. She pours herself another shot, tosses it back, rubs her belly. Your daddy got really irritating after a while. How do you leave prosperity? Do you think prosperity could be a person? I have no fucking clue. She grabs a long, slim cigar from a pack on the mahjong table. Lights it. Alright, let's get to it. She exhales smoke and points 2 fingers at you and Wu. You two need your sins burned and need them burned fast. Hong Kong dragnets are bad news. When they roll in force. Armored personnel carriers, heavy armor, heavy weapons, sorcerers, the whole thing. And they aren't coming to arrest you. She folds her arms across her chest. The thin cigar bobs in her mouth as she speaks. The good news is, I can help you. With a wave of my hand, I can have your sins disappear. But what you need to understand, my darlings, is that what you're asking for is not a simple request. Burning a sin isn't just deleting a number, it's wiping all references to that number from all the world's largest databases. It's masking your mugshot in their facial recognition database so that the first camera you walk past doesn't bring them down on you like a ton of bricks. It's covering our fucking backs so that the act of burning your sin doesn't lead them right to us. It requires contacts in numerous corporations and the UCAS government. Smoke rolls to the triad boss's nose. It requires someone like me. Therefore, I need to make a choice. She takes another drag on her cigar and gently places her palm flat on the table. Do I kill you and dispose of your bodies before the cops come looking for you, or do I help you burn your sin? You may want to think about your rep as a fixer. 2 of your runners were already taken down by the cops, and you have no idea why. Cheng rests her chin in her hand again and smiles at you coldly. So clever. So clever. Her chin stays on her hand, but her eyes look past you, surveying the Yellow Lotus soldiers in the room. Yes, I have been placed in a delicate situation, haven't I? Regardless, that's the situation whether you're alive or you're sucking dirt. She stares at you for a long moment, chin still on her hand, thinking, taps her ash on the floor without taking her eyes off of you. A low, reluctant growl rumbles somewhere deep in her throat. You'll live. You're clever, and I like that. I'll put your sins to the torch. However, I'll need to call in several valuable favors within my network to do it, and those favors do not come cheap. Kindly Cheng stubs out her cigar. You will own me. What do you want us to do? I want you to deliver a message to me, to a business associate in the walled city. The Yellow Lotus has a strong presence inside, Helena. Isabel can tell you all about it. Can't you, dear? Isabella grew up in the walled city. Isabel's eyes remained lowered. They collect taxes from the corporations, extort protection money from shopkeepers, run drugs, guns, people. They hurt people. We do those things, yes, but to be fair, we also operate the walled city's black market. You might not be alive today if it weren't for the lifeline that we provide. Isabel clams up tight. Cheng picks up a mahjong tile and turns it with her fingers. This is a red pole, a sort of enforcer, yes? On the inside. His name is Strangler Bao. Bao is a strong man, a good soldier, but he has forgotten his place. I need you to remind him. Do you want us to make an example of him? Did I say that I wanted you to make an example of him? No, I want you to deliver a message. She tosses you a memory stick. Bring this to him in my name, and remember that Bao's men are my men. By right, they should all be serving me. Killing them would be a waste of resources. I have no use for dead soldiers. She turns to Gobbet and Isabel. One of you will go with those 2 Westerners to the walled city. Help them locate Bao and show them the ropes. The other will remain here with me. I have several menial and degrading tasks that need doing around the establishment. No matter who goes and who stays, you'll both pay for bringing an APB to my doorstep. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Now, I'm going to find out who ordered the hit on Nightjar and do some dentistry on him with power tools. She closes her eyes and smiles with pleasure. That boy was my favorite. He sang to me sometimes. She opens her eyes again and sneers. That other one I don't care about. Gutshot was an asshole. She turns away and waves you off with the back of her hand. That will be all, my darlings. Return to me when you are done. One last question, Auntie? She keeps her back to you, but you can tell she's making eye contact with her lieutenant. Why not? Apparently I'm feeling generous today. What happened on the docks tonight? Kindly Cheng's voice is small. I don't know. Hooray. Alright, let's go. He's large. Come on, foster brother, let's go. I don't really know what we're supposed to be doing, but oh, I want to talk to the smuggler. Okay, he doesn't have. I forgot to check if he had outfits, and he doesn't. I like how this looks. This looks cool. This is a cool environment, and just like, I say this a few times, but it would be so cool to see a Shadowrun game done up in like the style of Cyberpunk or, you know, any other kind of open world type game. And God, I would love to see that. I would love to see like, I don't know, Ubisoft or Bethesda or whoever take a crack. Maybe not CD Projekt Red, because considering. We'll see what happens with Cyberpunk, since they've still got a way to go to, you know, get back the goodwill. I say in the middle of May, who knows? Maybe by the time this particular episode comes out, because there's a lot that has to come out first. They'll have released some sort of DLC that makes everyone go, we forgive you. The thug taps his earpiece, gestures with his head. Auntie Cheng said you'd be coming. You can pass. Uh-huh. Kowloon Walled City, the most densely populated spot on Earth. Nearly 40,000 people crammed into 7 acres of chaos, poverty, disease, and vice. A self-contained city that collects no taxes and provides no city services. Stagnant water sits in temporary wells. Trash piles on roofs for controlled burns. Improvised structures lean dangerously over populated areas. It's the ideal breeding ground for all manner of illicit trade. Drugs, gambling, black market trade, metahuman trafficking, and everything in between. The only law is triad law. And now you need to enter the septic system of a city. Find a triad enforcer named Strangler Bao and deliver a message from kindly Cheng. Foul, oily water rains down from above, mixes with the filth and offal and swill of the streets, turns it into a flowing slurry of unrecognizable sewage. In the distance, the sounds of back alley activity add to the ambience at your arrival. Breaking glass and the crackling hiss of a garbage fire, faint screams of terror punctuated by the occasional gunshot, sex and business and violence and misery blended into one. Wu winces at the stink, waves a hand in front of his face. Raymond said that prosperity's in the walled city, but I don't see it. Why the hell would he want to set one foot in this place? Who knows? He'd have to be insane to travel to the walled city. As I think we said, it's the worst slum in the Eastern Hemisphere, maybe the worst in the world. She does her best to suppress a shudder. She can't keep the dread from creeping into her voice. Can't believe I grew up here. Sorry to have to drag you back. Isabel looks around her, closes her eyes. You could have brought Gobbet instead. I would have been cool with that. She peers at the catwalks and sky bridges that connect the rotting tenement's sagging architecture. Frowning, she points to a spot in the distance. There was a market over there when I was a kid. Might not be a bad place to start. I thought you knew where to find Strangler Bao. I do. We need to get into the Lotus Den. That's what Bao calls the little island of control that he's carved out for himself here. It's a stupid name, but it's stuck. He'll have guards posted at every entrance, but we might be able to find a way around them through the market. That's what Kindly would prefer. You probably aren't expecting anyone to come in for us. We can kick in the door, drop the guards, hand over the message, and get the hell out. Kindly doesn't want them dead. She wants them to remember where their loyalties lie. It's tough to remember much of anything when you've got a bullet in your head. I mean, we could kill them if you really wanted to. Technically, Bao is the only one who has to live. But I'd rather keep Auntie Cheng happy than piss her off again. This group's safety is my biggest concern. We don't need to risk our necks for a bunch of triad thugs. I like the way you think. The Decker looks around her, wrinkles her nose. I want out of this place as fast as possible. Damn right. Let's do this. Alright. Merchant. Hello. A bedraggled old woman looks up from her sewing at the sound of your approach. Clothing. Clothing. I have good quality clothing for sale. Ever heard anyone say prosperity's in the walled city? She cocks her head like a dog listening to a noise that it can't understand. Prosperity? She sounds it out to herself. I don't know what that means. What's the news here? Anything interesting? Interesting? Here? No, nothing changes here. Nothing changes. She settles her weight with an audible harumph. Strangler Bao is a big man now. He is very important. Very impatient. You know Bao? Yeah, we're real close friends. You tell your friend that he still owes me for that suit. I don't sew for nothing. You can't eat air. We'll get right on that. She nods sagely. You see that you do. Now, what else do you want? Later, lady. A putrid stench emanates from the remains of this building. You see nothing that would cause it. I mean, it could just be whatever it collapsed on. Oh, you look good. A bloodied woman. A young woman lies on the ground. She's a bloody mess. Streaks and spatters of crimson crisscross her blouse and mat her hair. Judging by the quality of her clothing and the bag on her shoulder, you'd make her out as a student. She's as out of place here as a librarian would be in a game of urban brawl. She struggles to move, but she's clearly exhausted. The dark circles under her eyes tell you that she hasn't slept in days. When the woman sees you heading her way, her face hardens. You see her hand slip into her jacket pocket, but as she studies your face, the fear in her eyes gives way to curiosity. You guys don't look like you're from around here. A hacking cough shakes her, but her eyes remain fixed on you. What happened to you? She looks like she can barely keep her eyes open. Predators. I'm okay, though. The blood's theirs. Thought I'd rest here for a minute before I got back to work. I'm a student at HKU. She glances around watchfully, over your shoulder at the buildings looming above her into windows nearby. Doing some research. Gotta finish before I leave. This place is dangerous. What are you doing here alone? I wasn't alone, not until a few days ago. Another long, wet cough. I've been living with family in one of the inner blocks the last couple months, working on my master's thesis. What happened to the family? A pained expression washes over her face. I'm not 100% sure. The mother, she worked in a dive bar as a hostess. The father was a handyman. They never really went anywhere, didn't have the money to. I woke up one day and the whole family was gone. Just gone. I squatted in their place a while, but then some people started coming around, eyeing the place. I figured I should get out, finish my research as fast as I could, and head back to campus. Then I got sick. Wu grunts. What kind of research would you do in a place like this? My thesis is about feng shui in the sixth world. This is the right place to do it, the only place to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. What does feng shui have to do with a slum? Everything, I think. Absolutely everything. Rich people hire geomancers to design the interiors of their homes, to attune them just right to achieve balance and harmony. The poor have nothing like that. Leave a slum to fester long enough and you get this. She glances at her surroundings, a look of profound disgust on her face. I think that the negative feng shui of places like this affects the people who live here, that it changes them in a fundamental way, makes them less capable of breaking the cycle and getting out. That's what I'm trying to prove. Before the awakening, people thought of feng shui as a philosophical system. Now, in the sixth world, it's more than that. It's actually a form of magic. The whole thing revolves around Qi, the invisible life energy that binds every person and thing together. It's very real here in Hong Kong. Nobody knows the reason why. Maybe it's only real because people believe that it is. The important thing is, it's a measurable, quantifiable phenomenon. There's an entire industry that's grown up around it. This doesn't look like a place where people are harmonized with anything. No, it isn't. Not at all. The feng shui in the walled city is completely screwed. I mean, just look at this place. She gestures at the squalor surrounding you. The key is all wrong here. You can feel it, right? I felt that something was wrong the minute I walked in. Bad key, huh? Qi needs to flow. Positive feng shui allows that to happen. If qi gets pent up and trapped, it goes sour. That's what's happening here. The woman clears her throat, then lets out a hacking cough. The effort requires a moment for her to recover before she speaks again. You know, I hate to admit it, but I could use some help. I started running and, well, I guess you'd call it an experiment of sorts. Nothing conclusive, just a few quick trials to support my hypothesis before I go into hardcore data gathering mode. There are only a few things left to do. If you could finish them for me, I could get out of here. She holds out a crumpled piece of paper. Please, follow the notes on this sheet. Duncan takes the paper from her outstretched hand and examines it, frowning. Just say what you need us to do. I need you to make adjustments to the area's feng shui. My notes will tell you how. The goal is to remove sources of friction and to record the results. My hypothesis is that even small adjustments can have a measurable impact on key flow. If I'm right, it should improve and life here should just get a little bit better. We'll see what I can do. Oh, there's a dead person there. Didn't notice before. Okay. Let's just go back here and see if there's anything I can do. No. Okay. This one's mine. Step off. Alright. Inspect. Wires are sparking dangerously just above the doorway. Intelligence 2. Patch the worn out wire coating. A quick patch job with some nearby waste rubber leaves the wires safe once more. Alright, let's see what this merchant has to say. Hello? The street vendor gestures towards a jumbled pile of tarnished chains, costume jewelry, and trinkets on a stained flannel blanket. Look at these beauties. Very valuable. Very pretty. Ever heard anyone say prosperity is in the walled city? No, he shakes his head. That's not something that someone would say here. How can you stand this place? He gives you the stink eye. You mean my home? The vendor softens, becomes wistful. In my experience, you can get used to anything regardless of how horrible it is. It just becomes normal after a while. But this place is getting worse, no question about it. Last 20, 30 years has been nothing but downhill. Nothing goes right here. Maybe you can change that, though. By buying something, eh? Alright, let's see what you got. Yeah. For one, I can't afford this, and for two, no magic people in the party right now. Inspect. The market stall has been picked clean, its owner replaced by a pool of dried blood. Oh dear. Can't do anything there. Yellow Lotus Captain. Didn't we want to go, like, around? Or something? Sup, Yellow Lotus guy. A well-muscled and heavily tattooed triad member looks up from his PDA, bored but alert. Behind him, other Yellow Lotus soldiers take notice and turn to leer at you. You're in the wrong neighborhood, tourist girl, you and all your little tourist friends. I'm a local. I work for kindly Cheng. Show some respect. The triad soldier sneers at her. That's so. Then you already know that you shouldn't be here. That fossil doesn't run things around here anymore. His hand strays to his jacket and a conspicuous bulge in the fabric. Could be a gun, a knife, or a blackjack. Best get moving, little girl. Best move before we hurt you real bad. We're here to deliver a message to Strangler Bow. He pauses in mock consideration. No, I don't think so. We haven't been told to expect anyone. Look, this is a message directly from Kindly Chang to Strangler Bow. They're both above your station. You want to stand in the way of that? I sure as hell wouldn't. The yellow lotus soldier's mouth tightens. This is a trick. You're just trying to get close to Bao so you can put a bullet in him. We're just couriers. All that we want to do is put a memory stick in your boss's hands and blow. No, I don't think so. You don't get near Strangler Bao. He turns away. And you don't talk to us again either, understand? Try to pass by me, boys, and we'll punch holes in you until the daylight shines, too. Alright, we're leaving. What was the point of having the dialogue? You come upon a heavily muscled triad soldier screaming at a bearded old man holding a bleeding nose. The punk wags a cheap disposable cred stick in the old man's face. This? The bright plastic case would look cheerful if it weren't smeared with blood. This isn't enough. You got two options, old man. You can find a way of paying me all the money, or you can drag your bony ass deeper into the wall. Find a spot for yourself there with the pimps and the predators. Then they should find a nice use for you. Your choice. The old man wails. It's not fair. I can't just pack up and leave. I've been living here 22 years, and Is this how it's gonna be? He rolls his burly shoulders. Fine by me. Wow. Rude. He's out cold. These tires have been set aflame and have been burning for some time. The smell is awful. A bucket of sand. Oh, I can throw it on the tires. Pour the bucket of sand into the flames. The flames are still stifled beneath the dirty sand and soil from the bucket. Hooray. But, like, I haven't seen anything else that I could fix. Unless it's like, I don't know, in here somewhere or something. Let's do a save. Why don't you let me save? Please, thank you. To the lower levels. Maybe I'll find something down here that I can do. Door panel. What's this? The door is secured by a lock with a badly dented keypad. The keys themselves are deeply scored as though somebody had gone to work with them with a penknife. I'm gonna ignore that for a second because that might be where I need to go. More door panels. Inspect. Maggots churn within stews of unidentifiable ingredients. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, gun runner. Probably someone who will sell guns. A tubby man with a twice broken nose glances up at you from a pile of gun parts. He offers you a gap-toothed smile. Nice firearms here, good for protection. You got a husband or a wife? You got kids? You keep them safe with one of these beauties. Quality is guaranteed. Your satisfaction is everything. You want to buy? Ever heard anyone say prosperity's in the walled city? He snorts his reply. If you're an organ legger or a gun ringer or a triad, then there sure as shit is. Otherwise, you're looking at a hand-to-mouth, meal-to-meal existence out here. How do you stand it here? Business is good here, woman. Real good. Yeah, it's disgusting. But you go where the market is. Bao know you're selling guns in this area? Got Bao's permission to sell weapons in this stall. Been selling a lot of them, even more than usual. He grins. That's good for me. Well, let's see what you got. He's got stuff, that's for sure. Can't afford any of it, though. Alright, let's try opening some doors. Nothing to it. She loads up her program on her deck and effortlessly decodes the door lock. The door unlocks. Oh, that's how to get into the Lotus Den. Ooh, it's a terminal. Let's poke at it. This terminal belongs to Bow's people. I bet that we can get something useful out of it. The terminal is locked with a password prompt. Asked Isabel to jack in. Zoop. The Matrix Help slide will give you a rundown of the features you'll encounter navigating through cyberspace, including system trays, Matrix combat, and Watcher Ice. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh god, I hate this. I hate this so much. I need to get across the room. Shit! You can either attempt to hack the ice or force your way past the cost of additional system trays. For Jill hacking blocker ice, see the hacking help slide. That looks horrible. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Wait, what? What? Fuck. I don't have a fucking clue what the fuck is going on. Alright, I opened the deadbolt. Hooray. I don't think there's anything else I can do while I'm in here. Come on, let's go. Oh wait, I can go this way. I didn't realize that before. Okay. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Shit. Fuck! Oops. Shit. There's an M and then one of that thingy. This one. Ah, this sucks for me. I'm so bad at this kind of thing. Yay, I got things. Alright. Let's leave. Shit. Okay, I understand why people don't really like The Matrix so much in the sequel. Shit! I just want to leave. Yay. Alright, so that's the way I have to go. Oh. Okay, I need a code for this. Inside the Lotus Den, okay. So I don't know what this code is. Alright, let's explore a little more. Maybe I'll find out what the code is. That's to the rooftops. Hello, Lotus Enforcer. The yellow Lotus Enforcer glares at you. You can see the outline of the old man's cred stick in his vest pocket. He flexes and his muscles bulge. What do you want? Step away, asshole, right now. I saw what you did to that old man back there. I'm here to get his money back. I've got a better idea. I think I'll take your money instead. He licks his lips. Give me your cred stick, you'll get what the old guy got. I'm not playing around. Shaking down to Shadowrun isn't a good idea, sweetheart. Give me the old man's stick before I put a hole where your head is. He comes up short, frowning. His eyes shift from you to Duncan, to the assault rifle on Duncan's back. Oh, to hell with it. There's nothing on this old stick anyway. He tosses the cheap stick back to you. The balance on its LED screen reads 63 new yen. You got what you came for. Now get out, yeah? I got a date in an hour and I don't need you messing it up. Hard to mess up a date with a SimSense chip. He waves you off. Yeah, get out. Can I not give it back to the old man? Because I'd rather not be a complete jackass. You know? And let's look at this thing. The old rusted water valve might be able to close off the flow of the water that's pouring out from the pipe. Hey, Duncan, give me a hand. Sure thing, shouldn't be too hard. The flow of water ceases. Less clean water will run off into the streets now. Hooray! Got that sweet, sweet karma, yo. Alright, I can't just save in the middle of shit. I have to wait until everyone stopped fucking moving. Let's go look at the rooftops. See what's up here. Oh, that was that. Okay. Hey, old man. I don't want any trouble, boss. He excels sharply. Please, just leave me be. Hand him back his crescent. Here you go, man. Got this back for you. Oh, thank you. I don't have anything I can reward you with, but I appreciate what you did. I mean, like, 63 new yen is, like, nothing. It's not going to help me, so I'm not going to just take it from the old guy. And the lady's here, so let's see if I can talk to her about the fact that I fixed all the shit. Click. The young woman startles at your approach, fumbling for something in her pocket. When she recognizes you, she relaxes. Is it done? It's done. Thank you so much. The young woman sighs with relief. She opens the flap on her satchel, reaches inside, and produces a plastic sheath. I'm not magically after this, so I can't see the flow of key in the area, but I've got test strips, little sheets of paper embedded with key-sensitive bacteria. It's a close relative of Fab, but it doesn't see much use outside of Hong Kong. She pulls a strip out of a sheath. Bleh. She pulls a strip out of the sheath and holds it to the air. Within seconds, it turns ink black. She lets out a dejected sigh, her eyes shifting from the strip to her watch to the strip again. She looks utterly defeated. Damn it. I've been making adjustments for weeks now, trying to get the key to circulate better, and nothing seems to work. If anything, this one went bad even faster than the control strips I took when I got here. Maybe you're doing it wrong. I followed the text, done everything right. It should work. The key here is rancid, that's obvious, but I swear it's even worse than it should be. No wonder this place is so disgusting. The student coughs and rests her head in her hands. That's it, I'm getting out of here in a little while. Gotta tell my advisor about this. Thanks for the help. Hope you don't stay long. I sure as hell won't. Bye. Boop.